Hey guys, we are here today for another episode of the Dyno Report. This week, we're going to be doing Redstuff pads from EBC Brakes. This is a Kevlar compound brake pad that is good for the street and the track. I'm very excited because we have the 034 Motorsports stainless steel brake lines, which helped with the braking, but these are going to provide the stopping power that we're really looking for to bring this Mark 6 GTI to a stop as quickly as possible. Nice hair flip. So we're going to tell you where we're at right now before we install these brake pads on my Mark 6 GTI, very affectionately referred to as Elsa, and then we're going to install them and take it back out and see how they drive. I am very excited. I love braking mods. This is my first time changing compounds to a performance compound on any car I've owned, so I'm very excited to see how they feel, how they differ from the stock pads. It is so exciting to me. But let's not waste too much time. Let's take it to the car and see where we're at right now. So we haven't done too much to the brakes on this GTI just yet. We've done these stainless steel brake lines, which have helped very well. We've replaced the rear rotors, which I didn't do a whole dyno video on because that's just rear rotors, that's just regular maintenance on the car. But these EBC Redstuff pads that I have right here, that you probably can't really see just because there's so much glare, and I'm swervy, that's okay. They're gonna be a big helper for this GTI. I've heard so many good things about EBC, just so many good things. I'm not gonna lie, actually Car Throttle's IS300, well over there IS200 video on those EBC pads, they did the yellow stuffs. That was my first introduction to EBC, and that's kind of what got me into knowing them as a brand. And just then from there, everyone's just been like, EBC's great, EBC's great, EBC's great. And the price point for these pads was actually really good too, so I really couldn't complain. Very happy with it. And I mean, these brakes are great. It's a little car with a really good braking system. I mean, it's single piston caliper, front, rear, everything. So it's not gonna be the most ludicrous in stopping power. That's why they make so many big brake kits for these things, because there's always more that you can do. And that's what part of this is. This is almost more of an interim until we get to the point where we can do like heavy duty track pads with drilled and slotted rotors. But I'm really excited to do a new compound of brake pad. It's something I haven't done on a car before. There's a lot of firsts on this GTI that we're working into, and I'm so excited to experience just what these pads can do. Like I've been saying in these before sections, this car is just good from the factory. It can be better, but it's good. These brakes are good from the factory, really good. It got some really good stopping power. Those stainless steel pads, stainless steel lines, golly, there's so much in my brain right now. Those stainless steel brake lines really helped with pedal feel and cutting off a few feet on stopping time, just because on the initial pedal deflection, you're not getting as much flex in those rubber hoses. So you cut off a little feet. These pads are gonna be where the real difference is gonna be made. And it is gonna be night and day, I believe. It's a very long bed-in process, 100 miles until they stop making noise. That's this bed-in coat there. But then it's 1,000 miles of running before they're properly bedded in and you can use them. So it might be a hot minute before I can get to the actual testing, because I want to do the testings with a properly bedded in pad, just because I want the best results we possibly can get. I would brake pretty hard, but there's someone kind of tailgating me right now. But these pads, the stock ones, honestly, they could be from the factory, because the rear ones are toast right now, are still good. They're still good. I'm happy with them. It's a nice smooth braking. It's not grab and snatch and just like aggressive, but it's smooth and it's good, and it's a nice ride to it when you're on the brake pedal. It's a very nice smooth braking experience. A little bit more touchy and a little bit more of a grab than a lot of the other cars that I've driven, which are usually SUVs and those sorts. So it's already a bit more aggressive, but we're just gonna make it a little bit more aggressive than that. By a little bit, I mean a lot of bit, because these Redstuff pads are track and street pads, so they're the crossover. I think the yellow stuff is the street pad, Redstuff is the crossover, and green stuff, might be the other way around, are the track pad. So Redstuff is just that nice crossover that you can take it to the track and back. That's what they like to say, or at least I like to say. But we'll be the judge of that. We'll see if you can take it to the track and back on a daily driven Mark 6 GTI. And after 1,000 miles, we'll see how these things do in a 40-0 braking test. So I'm excited. I love working on brakes. I know it's super random, but I love working on brakes. They're super fun. So we're gonna get these pads installed, and we're gonna get them bedded in and take them back out and see how they drive, see how that pedal feel is, see how much stopping power we really have with EBC Redstuff pads. So, to the garage. If you want to watch a full install, shenanigans and all of the EBC Redstuff pads on my Mark 6 GTI, please find the video on my YouTube channel. Check out some other fun stuff while you're there. And now, it's time to drive 1,000 miles. There it is, 1,000 miles. All right, EBC, let's see if the wait was worth it. 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles on these brake pads until they're up to performance, up to snuff. It's a long time. I'm glad I read the whole bed-in instructions from EBC. Else I might have missed that. I want to try to do this right. I want to do this well. So that's why we waited for the butt dyno report. I'm currently on 1,051 miles on these brake pads. I mean, if anyone says anything about the bed-in, there's other ways I guarantee you can do it the normal way. Just kind of go out, speed up to 60, hit the brakes a couple times. But I wanted to do what EBC said. I can show you their instructions because I still have them, because I'm still kind of like sitting here kind of like sure to myself. So I kept them. But we are finally here, 1,000 miles later, several videos later from when I would have wanted this to have come out. But we're here nonetheless. Now, because I have over 1,000 miles of driving on these brake pads, I do have quite a bit to talk about. As I was kind of predicting, it is very easy to just get back into the rhythm of braking. Even though these are much better brake pads, I still don't typically brake too much sooner, just because you kind of get used to the pedal feel, get used to how grabby they are. And I mean, it's just normal driving. You just have a little bit extra if you need it. I have actually had a couple times where I've needed to hit the brakes slightly harder than normal, and I've got pretty good core strength and can keep myself upright, but because of these pads, I've actually had to jerk forward a little bit. I've pressed it just a touch harder than I think I did, and it's just actually a lot more grabby than I was expecting. It's super nice. It's one of those surprises where you're not expecting, but you're actually like, you know what, I'm happy it does that because that means the brakes are working well. I re-bled the brakes after I did the rear rotor replacement a while ago because I just didn't, I didn't do the best at it. That's just full disclosure. I didn't do the best, so I re-bled every single brake. Now this thing is real grabby. It's real fantastic. One of the real interesting things I noticed about using the rotors that were already on there is the bed-in material that is on these EBC pads really just completely scrubbed the surface over those rotors. They look basically brand new. They're looking really good. You know that really abrasive material on bed-in was doing the work that it was supposed to really mate this brake pad to these rotors. Now, like I said in the install video, before there's any issues I might have of old equipment mated to new, I should be at a point where I can just do the full $700-800 brakes and rotors package and just get new pads at the same time again to really make it pristine, really take advantage of this braking on a track day with some really good rotors too. I mean, I love this. I love braking mods, and what these pads have done to this car is just fantastic. It gives me peace of mind. It gives me a sense of safety and security that even if I'm about to overcook it into a turn, I've got enough stopping power to bring myself back into a controllable speed. It's super fun. Just with great power comes great responsibility. I know that's Spider-Man, but it applies to here too. It really does. I mean, I'm gonna do about 50% brake pressure. That's 50%. That's some good stuff. All right, so full disclosure, I actually haven't hit 100% brake pressure yet, because honestly, I've been a little nervous too. Scared, nervous, those two words are pretty interchangeable in this case. I've hit it about 80%, and it's kind of been scary good, if you will, but I haven't hit it 100% yet. So what we're gonna do for the first time is actually hit 100% brake pressure, and we're gonna do it on camera. I'm going about 60 miles an hour, and I'm kind of nervous because this is actually gonna be probably pretty severe. All right, neutral. Oh. Some hardcore ABS there. That was actually kind of fun. 30. Good night. That was just 30. That's actually kind of like insane, that brake pressure. And honestly, I think that might have only been 95 even. That really wasn't even hundo. So if you're just sitting here and you're just kind of like, that's really, really stinking good. That was probably 40, 50%. I mean, you can ease it in, like you can see I'm slowing down, but you can do it nice and easy because these pads are just very, very good for the street. I haven't tried them on the track yet. I really want to. Judging by the stopping that we just did, these things are going to be immense for the track. I'm going to try to keep myself fully back. Oh, that's difficult to do. You really got to push back to keep your body fully upright in that situation. One of the few drawbacks that I've noticed so far, because I wash my car so often, these pads are supposed to be a low dust pad, but they're actually very dusty. The OEM brakes that I had on there barely had any dust, but these pads actually have a decent bit, especially at the rear is what I've noticed. I know the fronts do a lot, but those rears are just really dusty. And if you wash your car a lot, it's not gonna make that big of a difference. I think the performance heavily outweighs any of the dust that you're gonna have. But they are a little dusty. I will say that. I wouldn't call them low dust. I don't know what they're comparing to, but compared to what I had on before, they're not. They're just dust. They're just brake pads. But they're EBC Redstuff pads, so that means they're gonna stop you like that. Just like that. You can hear the ABS pumping away there. Some really intense stuff, it really is. I am really excited because we're gonna be doing 40 to 0 testing again, because these brake pads are gonna be what gives you some of the most decrease in stopping distances. I think 47 feet was the 40 to 0 distance that we've got so far. And judging by how the stopping is going here, I think we might be in the low 40s, if not high 30s, because this grabs. It's gonna be, now it's not so much how much can the brakes do, it's how much can ABS do. Because you're locking up these tires at 50 miles an hour. These pads are doing some serious work. They are snatching it and just stopping you. So then the ABS really does have to kick in. So it becomes an ABS game now, not so much brake pads, because you know they can lock up these all 4 tires, guaranteed. But I'm interested to see. That's going to be a separate video, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be super fun. I love doing testing like that, getting some numbers. The butt Dyno reports are great, but the numbers are really cool as well. Man, I just got to do it again. 60 to 0. It's just one of those things. 60. Oh my goodness, you see that whip at the end because it just absolutely grabs. You can see some marks. You can see a couple little ABS marks. I know these tires are being worked right now. It's only 60 degrees outside, so they're not as hot as they could be, and you could probably stop even better. I'm gonna make sure the 40 to 0s are done in close to 70 degrees, because that's about what the other two were. These pads are amazing. The whole set was only $216. That is a great deal for the performance that you get out of these pads. It really is. I mean, it doesn't change daily driving because you just get used to how the brake pedal feels, how grabby it is, and that doesn't affect anything on the day-to-day. But when you need to stop, boy, does it absolutely grab. It's just an on-off switch. You're just normal driving, and then boom, you're stopped. It's crazy. If you haven't done a brake pad upgrade on your MK6 GTI, this is your sign to do it now. Brake pads, upgraded ones I should specify, are incredible, especially the EBC Redstuff pads. It's my first experience into a different compound, and I am very, very pleased with the results. It is, like I said before, It's just an on-off switch. You're just driving, oh, and you're just chilling. Oh no, I gotta stop. Oh look, we're stopped. Incredible. Really putting them through their paces right now. But seriously guys, if you haven't upgraded your brakes, you really do need to. Not only for just how much fun it is to brake, but for safety. Because if you're going a little bit quicker, and I'm not gonna pretend you guys always obey the speed limit, well, I know. You've gotta be able to come to a stop very quickly. You've gotta be able to keep it all under control. And this is one way to do it. There's a lot of other ways, but this is the best way to do it. To make sure you're not in too much danger or putting anyone else in too much danger, because you know you can come to a stop comfortably, especially if you're cruising at sometimes just the speed limit on mountain roads. Like some of those mountain roads are 45 miles an hour, and you're like, man, I can barely go 35. But if you have the confidence to come to a stop, you can have just a little bit more fun on those roads where you really can push it. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it's a bit later. I just wanted to do things right. Please subscribe. Have a great day. And remember, Jesus loves you. Bye.